Today we're going to work on the vagus nerve. These exercises are something that you can connect with and do at any time. They are accessible for every person. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in the body. It is a cranial nerve, so it attaches in the back of the skull, and it wanders throughout the entire body, and it is associated and connected to many of our bodily functions. Breathing it's associated with, it's connected with our voice box, it's connected to our heart rate and our digestive system. It is the wandering nerve. It goes everywhere throughout the body, so it's pretty much connected to most all of our main functions. It's connected into our ribs, so our breathing functions, and when we fall into a shallow breathing pattern due to body structural things or like anxiety, we fall into a shallower breathing pattern, pregnancy, that the vagus nerve will become not activated throughout our ribs. So working on expanding the ribs with your breathing versus that up and down breathing, kind of thinking more side to side, as well as our heart rate and digestion. So if our digestion is not functioning properly, then our vagus nerve isn't going to be functioning properly as well. So connecting with all of those. These exercises are, you can do them at any time, in any way. So if you're sitting down, that's a great way to start. Laying down is wonderful too. You can do it before bed or right when you wake up, before going into a situation where you might be dealing with a little bit of excess emotion in whatever fashion. Another way to connect with this with other things that you're doing in your everyday life is the vagus nerve helps us to feel calm and safe. So if we're doing exercises like a corrective exercise program, then doing the vagus nerve exercises before doing those corrective exercises, or going on stage, or presenting, like a presentation that you're offering or something along those lines. Doing the vagus nerve exercises before that will help you to feel calm, help you to feel safe and secure, and help you to, especially with corrective exercises, help you to absorb what's happening and tell your body that it's okay what's happening and that you are safe, and to actually absorb those exercises into your body instead of kind of having your body fight against you that entire time. So there's a lot going on. Let's get moving into those exercises. So before we actually begin, we're going to start seated and just take a couple of deep breaths to ground ourselves into this moment. And we're going to connect with a SH sound. Shh. So this SH sound will help to activate the vagus nerve through the throat. Any sort of long exhale is a great way to connect here as well. So let's begin just with an inhale and exhale through the mouth. That's right, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Feeling the ribs expand during that inhale. And now on this next exhale, we're going to incorporate that shh sound. And let's do one more together. Great. We're going to lay down on our back. You can have knees up if that feels good for you. We're also going to interlace our fingers and have your thumbs pressing onto your occipital bones in the back. So at the very base of your skull, there should be some bones kind of pointing out. That's where we're going to rest our thumbs. So coming all the way down, and just this little bit of pressure is enough to activate that vagus nerve. You can let the knees collapse into each other if that feels good. And just finding that relaxed state. And from here, we're going to turn our eyes to the left. And really you can start left or right, but just for today, we're going to start to the left. And having your eyes open and just staring in that direction, relaxing the head. The nose and chin are still facing up towards your ceiling. You can also do this seated, just applying more direct pressure to the back of the head if you're seated. And we're continuing to take those deep breaths. And what we are looking for here is a natural, relaxation in the body. So that might come in a swallow, it might come from the throat relaxing, or a sigh. You might feel your feet release or your abdomen release. Wherever that is for you, just kind of pay attention and notice. And when you get that release, go ahead and turn your eyes to the opposite direction. Again, still your nose and chin are facing up towards the ceiling, so don't start to turn your head. Keep it nice and centered. And just turn your eyes. And we don't want to have eye strain here. So if your eyes are turned so far that you are feeling strain in the eyes, come back a little bit and just focus a little bit more upright. So finding that breath, finding that the relaxation that naturally happens. So this is kind of a tuning into the body as well, and just learning your body's cues, listening to your body's cues of when it's tense and where you hold tension and when it actually releases and relaxes. This exercise is really great. Any sort of vagus nerve exercise is really great for a person who deals with ADHD symptoms or hyperactivity. If we're really wound up, this is a great exercise to come back to a regulated state. So take your time there as you feel like you need, and listen for your own cues, okay? All right, next we're going to take a hands and knees position. You can take dumbbells if your hands don't like to be in that flexed position, or onto some blocks works, and find what's most comfortable for you. So we don't want to hold these positions and be uncomfortable. That's not fun, right? So coming into your hands and knees, and we're going to do what is called the salamander. So we're going to keep the sacrum, your hips, we're going to keep those nice and stable. So as we move, we're not going to bring our hip towards our head. The hip is nice and level and does not move. So I like to have my toes curled under, but you can do flat feet if that feels good for you. And we're going to lengthen the spine to start. Abdominals are drawn in. We don't want to have our tailbone up. So keep your ribs in line with hips. And from here, turning your eyes towards that left shoulder and turning your head over towards that shoulder as well. And continuing with that long, deep breathing. And again, we are looking for that little relaxed movement that happens. So that might be a release in the hip or the neck, throat, a sigh, abdominals, anything that feels like you get that little bit of release happening. You might feel tense release, and that's normal too. Just continue to notice, continue to breathe, and continue to look past that shoulder. All right, we're going to change direction. So inhaling back to center. Give your eyes a couple good blinks. We want to be blinking, but when you come back to a center gaze, just kind of blink your eyes to recenter. All right, sacrum, hips are still nice and stable. we're going to turn our gaze over the right shoulder, and then turn your head and lean through the ribs. And breathing. If you'd like to connect that SH breath here, you're welcome to do that. Or sighing it out. One more deep breath. Or until you find that release to happen for you. All right, taking a couple of deep breaths here in the center. All right, so we're going to do a seated bend. So you can be up on your heels if that feels good for you. You could place a pillow underneath your bottom and in between your feet if that feels right for you. I find that to be a comfortable position for myself, but for today I'm going to do cross-leg. Okay, so next we're going to take our hands back into that crossed fingers, thumbs resting to the base of the skull. We're going to open up the elbows and tip. So when you're in this position, we are keeping the sacrum again nice and stable to get a big side bend with the through the ribs, and also making sure that we have a length going up and kind of open. And now we're going to even more so turn our eyes up towards the ceiling. And again, looking for that natural relaxation that happens. And you may find that one direction is able to relax a little bit quicker than the other. Just shows our dominant side and non-dominant, and that is A-okay. You may notice where you're holding tension consistently as you go through these. All right, we're going to come up and switch. Turning your gaze up to that opposite side. We want to make sure that the elbows stay fairly open, that we're not closing and rounding, right? Big side stretch. Ground down through that hip. So the same side. So right now my left arm is up, so my left hip wants to lift up, but I'm going to kind of ground down a little bit more so through there. One more big breath, or find that natural release for yourself. And come on up, blink your eyes, relax, come on down. Well, thank you for practicing these vagus nerve exercises with me today, and I hope that you're able to incorporate it and just kind of weave it into your everyday life. Have a great time down regulating yourself.